Hey everybody, it's Dr. Smith from Accomplished Health and Wellness here in Lawrence, Kansas, and Heather Fiore from Free State Nutrition. And we have our tea today, but it's cold tea because I thought we were doing it yesterday and I made it and we did it today. So now it's cold. It's the sweet tangerine, that one that I like. It's very sweet and tangerine-y today.
It is.
Yeah, I like it cold actually.
I know. It's good.
Yeah. So today we are talking about endocrine disruptors, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought we would start by talking about what the endocrine system is, right? So the endocrine system is a complex system of glands that are found all throughout our body, and they all produce hormones. And so some examples are like your thyroid here in your neck, the pituitary gland, which is in your brain, your adrenals, which sit on top of your kidneys, the pancreas. Oh, my pancreas, from Encino Man.
Yes.
Oh, my pancreas. And then our lovelies, the ovaries that we have and testes and men. There's others, but, those are just some examples. And then, what's a hormone, right? So that's what these all produce are hormones. So hormones are actually chemical messengers, and they basically control many basic functions throughout your body, like growth, development, reproduction, how we use our food, our blood pressure, our blood sugar, and then also fluid balance and a bunch of others. Right. And so, some examples are like insulin from your pancreas, that helps with your blood sugar. Estrogen, obviously, we all know that one. Estrogen, progesterone, those are from your ovaries. And then, testosterone from the testes. We could sometimes do less of that. And then these hormones actually, they are carried to their target organs, and that's where they actually perform their function. So like luteinizing hormone, which is a hormone that's released by your pituitary gland, that one travels all the way down into your ovaries, and then it actually stimulates your ovaries to release an egg when you ovulate. Little piece of information there. Or cortisol, cortisol is released from our adrenal glands when we're all stressed. Deal with the stress. Yeah. So those are just, some examples of what they do and where they are. So what is endocrine disruption?
Yeah.
So
what I was reading, I was surprised. I know that most of the endocrine disruptors we think of are man-made, but there are some that are
not.
That are natural, which is sort of interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds bad, and the thing is that if there's a natural endocrine disruptor, then it's not all bad. It's just more about like the volume. It's more about what our exposure is in terms of like the amount and then the frequency.
Yeah.
It's not just that endocrine disruption is like bad all by itself.
Right. And endocrine disruption is just like a change, right? A change that may lead to something harmful, but doesn't necessarily, most of the ones that we're going to talk about lead to some harmful adverse health effect, but it just leads to something different. So, and what is an endocrine disruptor?
So I always think of BPA.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like,
everywhere.
The big one, right?
Right.
And it's everywhere, and so much so that it's actually been banned from some things, right? Like it's not in babies' toys and bottles anymore.
Right.
Of course, now they use like,
it's on the receipt. So you buy the toys.
It's on receipts. But it's also, so they took BPA out, but maybe they replaced it with something else.
Oh, I'm
that
sure.
Just hasn't been
and we
studied.
Just haven't studied it yet. Yeah.
But so there's plasticizers, right? And that's like the phthalates.
Yeah.
Which
those are also in our like shampoos and lotions.
Yes. Yeah. And they, they're in plastic bottles of things. They help keep things, plasticky, operating like a plastic. They're in like so many of our things, like
Yeah.
personal care products and cleaning products and
Yeah.
fragrance of any kind. Like, it's a little bit scary
Right.
when you
Yeah.
think about it.
It is.
And then pesticides. And,
Oh gosh, yeah. Pesticides, gotta love those. They have a function, but they have another function that's not so happy. But so endocrine disruptors they're foreign substances or mixtures that alter your endocrine system. That's pretty simple. And they're everywhere. They're in our water.
Like just breathing, like you get into a car and maybe there's an air freshener in the car, or maybe it's a newer car and there's that like new car smell,
or like maybe you just detailed your car.
Yes, they actually spray new car smell into the vents so that you turn on the air conditioning and you get
new car smell
wafted with.
Oh, I buy this one.
Yeah, that smells good.
It smells good, like a new car.
Yeah, but it's like in the carpets or your couch or like just everywhere. So, I mean, we're going to talk about why, these things can be kind of dangerous and stuff, but it's important to know that it is ubiquitous and, you can't worry too much, get your cortisol levels up because, we can't really avoid it. You could do what you can to limit, but just focus on what you can do and try not to like stress about all the stuff that you can't do anything about.
Right. And, how these oftentimes work causing the endocrine disruption is actually through bioaccumulation. So they actually will be stored in your fat and then continue to, disrupt your endocrine system.
Right, and just build up really.
That's
what's happening.
Yeah, build up. So like the parabens and the phthalates, a lot of that used to be in shampoos a lot, and a lot of times now you'll see no parabens, no phthalates, and whatever. And the glycol ethers, those were in shampoos as well. And what they do, they're like weakly estrogenic. And so they build up, and what they found was that it decreased the sperm, your sperm count and your sperm motility and viability. So it was actually causing male infertility while you're washing your hair. Yeah, that's sad. Yes. Well,
so I mean, there's a lot of potential places where they can interfere, and fertility is kind of a big one. At my old where I used to live, I used to work in a research department in an OBGYN department, and we looked at sort of some fertility factors with we were studying phthalates in particular, but they had also done research on other endocrine disruptors, and they found same thing with the decreased sperm, but then they also found in pregnant women that it passed on to the fetus, and phthalates in particular is what we were studying, and we found that those boys had they had disrupted they
had smaller penises.
It decreased the androgen exposure in utero, which had an impact because those are the measurements we took was their genitals.
The DES used to be used. It was synthetic estrogen, and that was used during pregnancy, and it was thought that it didn't cross the placental barrier, but what they found was that it actually did, and it caused lots of just abnormalities, birth defects. But then also, it was causing uterine cancer in girls, young. If they didn't have, weren't minus an extremity, then later on they were getting uterine cancer. Gosh. So, and vaginal and some others. And so, we don't actually know what they're going to do until later. And that's interesting about the phthalates, because that's what was also happening with the DES. That's why it's nobody can use that.
Yeah. But the thing is that these chemicals, there's more like chemicals, when you say that word, it sounds bad, and it's not bad in and of itself. It's just that we're exposed to more and more chemicals all the time,
Oh man,
more
every day.
man-made chemicals, and they're not really being studied. And it's just more on the part of researchers to establish that something's dangerous to take it off the market rather than establishing that it is safe to get on the market.
Right.
Like what kind of approach to
Except for like
safety
a
is that?
medicine can't get on the market
Right.
unless it's absolutely safe.
Right. And then sometimes they go overboard with that. But
Right.
when it comes to chemicals in food and products and stuff, it's just not
Right.
We just don't have the regulation that we need.
No, we don't. What other things have you run into?
I'm trying to think of the other, we really did some.
The PCBs, they were even in, I was surprised, in the can, in the lining of the can.
Yes.
Why do you put that in your can lining?
I don't know. There's obviously something going on.
So who cares about the babies because they're eating the canned food? You know what I mean? Like, we all care about the babies, but I meant their toys.
Right.
It's in there.
Right. So they took it out of the toys, but they
didn't take it out of the can.
I
think it's still in the cans.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting that some of these are banned, but then they're still found in other places.
Right, like they banned it in particular
They banned
places.
it over here, but not over here. So
why is that?
Yeah, right?
The answer.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, so one of the other studies that was done, this is a little more depressing, I'm sad to say.
No.
That what
We're kind of full of depression today.
They took people and they gave them all their food. Okay, so they tried to control the environment where they tried to limit the exposure that these people might have. And they gave them all their food, and it was all fresh and everything, so that they could limit their exposure to endocrine disruptors. Mm-hmm. And then they measured in their urine the metabolites, and they found that some of the endocrine disruptors metabolites were really high. And where they found it was in spices. Not the actual spice, but because it comes in a plastic
bottle. Oh man. What am I gonna do?
Yeah, you think you can control it and you just can't.
No, I think about all these things that are in plastic.
Right.
What am I supposed to do? Get rid of all the plastic?
Because
I got kids and they break things, and then the glass shatters and goes everywhere, and you're still finding it 5 days later.
Or more than that, to be honest with you.
I found some. Okay, so I brought my son. He wanted to get these noodles, right, that were up on the top shelf in this jar, and they looked like, I think they looked like candy to him because they were the colored pasta. Mm-hmm. And so he went and reached for that. He got up on the counter and went and reached for that, and the whole, of course, the jar broke and shattered.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. I found a piece of glass on top of a table that was 8 feet away.
Wow.
How did that even happen?
Yikes.
I don't even know. But so what are we supposed to do? Put the plastic mesh around all our glasses?
I feel you do what you can,
right.
And you just try not to worry about the rest.
We're all endocrine disrupted.
We are.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And you just go slowly with changes, right? Start with one area of your life.
Steel, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we switch to steel water bottles.
Sure.
Did you know they make steel straws?
Yes. Yeah. I bought my mom one, actually, one of those fold-up ones, because she loves a straw at a restaurant. Yeah. So, it's a little fold-up thing.
I wonder if they're lined with anything.
I don't know.
PBA.
I'm not sure. Well, you just do what you can, right? So maybe you start with your, in the bathroom. And you think about all the products we use, and you think,
they're all in
I don't wear a lot of
bottles.
makeup, right? So I don't have that much stuff. But by the end of the day, from start to finish, the amount of stuff that you put on your body is a lot. You might put some lotion on, or you might put moisturizer, chapstick, a little bit of makeup. You wash your hair, you might put some product in afterwards. there is stuff, even if you're not like, a big product user, or you don't think you are. You've got soap, and you've got, shaving
like
soap,
the push
and
container of your soap.
all the things. Yeah. So just start somewhere, right? And
one thing.
And right, try to replace one thing. And there are places to go to get resources to help you. We've talked about the Environmental Working Group before.
Yeah.
They've got their cosmetics database. So you go on there and you look for something that's safe.
There's actually quite a few beauty products out there that are, I always wonder, because they tout them as, safe, no blah, blah, blahs. Their list of blah, blah, blahs is so long, and they're supposed to be safe. But then they come in these plastic bottles.
Right. Well, I mean, you're not going to avoid plastic bottles, right?
I know.
But, some of them actually are recyclable.
Oh, yeah, I'm a recycle queen.
Yeah. So that makes me feel a little better that I'm not just throwing out all these plastic bottles all the time.
Right, they're not.
But it's also
eaten by the fish, the sea.
And it's about does the plastic leach from the plastic bottle into your thing? Okay, can we talk about water bottles for a minute? Single-use water bottles. Okay,
yeah, they're everywhere,
and they're terrible for the environment.
They are.
They're terrible,
and they're floating in the ocean.
I know.
Everywhere.
That's Carol. That you can recycle them, but here's the thing: they're only meant to be used once, right? They're single use, and it has a little one on it.
Okay, but there's a second use that you can use those for.
Okay.
So what you do is you put a little vinegar in there and some baking soda and some color, and then you shake it up, and it blows up. Now that is a good second use.
That's fine. I fully support that second use. But let me tell you why you don't put more water in and reuse it. Because it's the type of plastic designed for single use. So what starts happening?
Breaks down.
It breaks down. And guess where that broken down plastic is going? Into
your mouth. And you know what else is you're not supposed to leave those in your car.
Right.
Because as the car heats up, it heats up your plastic. And then all those chemicals are floating around in your water, and then you drink it.
Yeah.
And then your thyroid stops working, and your ovaries and your testes shrink down, and you have no penis left.
So, but seriously, start somewhere, make one change. Okay, so you could go through the bathroom and gradually replace your products with stuff that's more natural, or, maybe homemade. There's homemade stuff you can use, and especially in the kitchen with cleaning products.
I used to make my own laundry soap.
I know people who do that.
And then I read this article about how it gums up your washing machine.
Oh, man.
And then I was like, well, I guess I'll just go for the zero whatever stuff. The long list of nothings.
Yes. No dyes and no fragrance.
I figure I'll give my clothes my own smell.
I don't like a laundry smell at all.
No.
Oh, man. If my clothes or my bedding smells like something, it is very upsetting to me.
Yeah, that's mine. Don't really smell except for me. But then now I have to worry about my body spray.
Perhaps.
Oh, I put it on my hair and my clothes.
Yeah, of course you do. But go to the website and check it out and see how it rates. Probably any kind of spray is not going to be rated well.
I don't spray a lot, but I guess it accumulates in my urine, so.
Right.
That sucks.
That's the time.
What are we gonna do, people? Okay, so one thing at a time. Switch over so it's not as overwhelming and costly.
Yeah, costly too, right? You're not gonna throw out all that stuff. You spend money on it.
And it actually isn't that hard to switch over to glass bottles. So I do a lot of spices that are from the bulk food section.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I actually keep I usually a lot of times we'll throw out the plastic ones and I keep the glass ones and stuff. And so then I put the stuff back in there.
So when you buy in bulk, do you put it, do you get a plastic bag or you take your glass to the...
No, because of the way you have to weigh it.
I know, that really...
Yeah, but then usually I go home and I pour it right into the jar. So hopefully that amount of time doesn't...
Oh, yeah.
I do what I can.
You do what you can. That's all.
I think I might invest in some of those steel straws. So.
Yes.
Then my son can't bite them.
Oh yeah.
He needs some. He's Dean the Destroyer. We've talked about that. He's even a destroyer of straws. So I should probably throw them all out.
Maybe so. I'm thinking.
I don't want
if they've
him
been
to
bitten.
have small testes. I want grandbabies in the far future. 30 years from now.
Time from now, yes. So the other things about like stuff you can do right now is like don't.
Our light keeps going in and out. It's driving me crazy.
Sorry. Don't heat your food in plastic in the microwave.
Never.
But people do still do that.
They do.
So
because you know what? You don't want to wash that extra bowl, but wash the bowl, people.
Right. Or get your glass storage containers and you put it in there and you microwave in there.
Yeah.
It's doable.
It's another thing to change.
It is. But you don't also want to put your hot leftovers into a plastic container. That it's got to cool down.
Yeah.
Just waiting around for their food
But
to
you know
cool
what
down.
else? All those plastic containers, or all those glass containers, they have a plastic lid.
They do, but you just try not to let the food touch the plastic lid. That's what I do.
Okay. Is that maybe put some foil over the top?
I wouldn't worry, like as long as the food isn't like literally on touching the plastic.
Yeah, but it's gonna warm up the glass. Oh, see, it's another thing to think about.
What do you mean it's gonna warm? Oh, you mean like when you put it in the microwave?
Yeah. No, when you put it in the container and the food's all hot, it's gonna warm up the glass, and then if you ever get
condensation, that's true. But some of them make rubber lids, or like it doesn't have to be plastic. It could be different.
Maybe it's rubber. Does rubber do that? It's probably
no
PVA.
No, I think rubber and like silicone.
Yeah,
I don't know if they make silicone lids.
I bet they do.
They do.
Yeah.
So there you go. Glass and silicone. Those are your answer. And that's another thing too for cooking.
Yeah.
Is like transfer over to like silicone or metal. Something.
All of my pans, like I can't do that.
Nonstick.
The nonstick because like over time, it doesn't matter what kind of utensil you're using in there. And
then it's garbage.
And then it's in your food.
Yes, it is garbage.
The black flecks aren't pepper. That's your Teflon.
Yeah, don't use.
Yeah, so I gave that up a long time ago.
Right, but then also the utensils too.
Yes,
you need to be careful.
Well, okay,
like, don't
I do
use
have a plastic spatula.
Oh! You gotta get yourself a
metal spatula
or metal.
I like wooden. I love wooden spoons. Mm-hmm. I love them. I don't know why. One of mine got used for what were they making? They were mixing cement or plasticine with my wooden spoon.
Oh my gosh!
My good one too.
Well,
and now it sits on the windowsill, and now it's the plasticine.
It's no longer for food.
Yeah.
Well, somebody stuck mine in the blender while it was moving.
No!
Yeah, guess what
There's
happened?
Like splinters in your food.
I know. First of all, you ruined the food, and now you've also ruined the spoon. Great.
When I was younger, I was telling this story the other day. So when I was younger, my mom, my brother and I, we made these wooden spoons, and like it said mom or it said dad. And so Gail said another reason not to cook. I wish I had like someone that would cook for me. But that my kids like to eat though. So I gotta
every day with it.
I know, multiple times, like on the weekend, forget about it. That's all you do is cook. Like I gotta let the dishes stack up because otherwise that's all I would do all weekend long.
Yes.
Wash dishes
all day long. Agreed.
Anyways, so my brother and I made like these wooden spoons, and they were like had like mom's the best or number one dad or whatever.
Yes.
And they were on the refrigerator. And once my brother got a little mouthy with my mom, and she came at him with a wooden spoon, right? And it's an old wooden spoon, right? Mm-hmm. And whatever. She went after my brother with the wooden spoon on his butt, and the spoon like immediately broke in half. And I start laughing, right? And my mom looks at me with this half wooden spoon, and she's like, the like whole ball parts kicked off, and she's like, do you want some? I was like, no. And I like took off running, right? So I go out of my house. I'm gone.
Oh my God.
I didn't come back for 2 hours. I went over to a friend's house. I come in the back door, right? And that's like where our refrigerator is. You walk through the back door, and then there was our refrigerator, the side of our refrigerator. Do you know what was stuck there? That spoon. And my mom had gotten an extra magnet thing to stick on the other side to put it together as a reminder. I was like,
Smart
no.
lady. Yeah.
I know. So, anyways, those wooden spoons. But I do like to cook with them.
Yeah.
I don't put them on my fridge. I don't go after my kids with them.
Yeah.
No.
That's
But
the olden days, right?
I know. Did you see it? There was an article that said that some school was bringing back corporal punishment.
Stop it.
Yeah,
I
with
did
the
not see that.
paddles.
Come on.
I would not let you
What?
paddle my kid. Sorry.
Who's sending their kid to that school? That's nuts. Other schools are like
They were
implementing
sending them
meditation and stuff, and they're over
Right?
here like thinking
Yoga and meditation.
corporal punishment.
got
That's
the-
the answer.
They've got the paddle. No, you don't get to paddle my kid.
Oh, that's crazy.
Anyways.
So I feel like we've kind of been through most of it, but
Yeah.
the
And
dishwasher
way sidetracked.
is another place. Like, do not put your plastic in the dishwasher.
No.
Sorry, you have to wash it, or just stop using plastic. You know, over
Yeah,
time
remember
and
we're
replace it
changing out people.
gradually.
Changing
But
out
while you still have it, you have to
Don't put
wash
it in the
back
dishwasher.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna not like it, and so you'll get rid of it quicker.
Right. Well, it's going to break down faster, and the thing is, like, it breaks down faster than you see it happening.
Yeah.
And of course, what's happening?
And you
you're
know,
eating the
like what
plastic.
happens anyway with the plastic utensils? They get melted
Oh yeah.
in your pan.
No.
I know. I got to get rid of my last two plastic spatulas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You do.
I do.
I do. But there's really cool silicone ones, and there's
There are.
you know. There's
Yeah.
metal and there's wood. There are options. Like plastic is not the only answer.
No, yeah, you're right.
Mhm.
Alright.
What else? So you always want to wash your produce. You know,
Oh, yeah.
that's like a whole.
It's all
other,
covered with wax anyway. You got to get that stuff off.
And then the pesticides. Like obviously, we've talked about like
Oh, yeah.
organic would be great, but you're
Green
not always
15.
going to buy organic. So the least you can do is try to wash the stuff off, right?
Mhm.
Along with whatever else is on there.
Yes.
So wash it all off.
Yeah.
And then, so we talked a little bit about like with cleaning products,
Oh,
that there are natural options.
Yes.
There are like that website, the cosmetics database has a whole like cleaning product
Yeah.
section. So look on
Do
there
you know-
or make them yourself. Like they're
You
actually
can.
not that hard to make your own.
And
cleaning
there's a lot on
products.
Pinterest for that.
Yeah.
And actually, if you are into like essential oils, I know that Young
Ooh.
Living has an entire cleaning product line,
Yes.
and it's supposed to be good for you
yeah.
and your environment.
Right. And like, it's not that hard to find, homemade stuff that actually
Yeah.
works, like
Yeah.
that disinfects. Like it's not just, using water and rubbing
Yeah.
really hard. Like you can actually disinfect stuff.
Yeah.
It's,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Castile soap. Can I just put in a little plug for Castile soap?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Because it's camping soap because
Yeah.
it's good for the environment, or it's not bad for the environment.
Right.
It just
I've gotten that once, I think.
yeah. And I use that to make a lot of cleaning stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I just use really like a squirt bottle, a little squirt of Castile soap filled up with water,
Mhm.
and I use that to like clean every surface pretty much.
Oh.
Dust, clean the kitchen.
You're going to have to
Bathroom.
change your plastic bottle out for steel.
It's gonna be tough.
Silicone.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Do you think they make one? Maybe we should invent one.
I don't know. You always have the apparatus though, right? The sprayer
Yeah,
part. Like
that
that
could be
is.
silicone.
You think?
I
I
don't
mean, there's a
know.
lot of parts in there, so
There
some of
are.
it's gonna be
I
plastic.
don't know.
Again, you do what you can, and you don't worry about the rest.
We're all worried about everything. We all want to be
It's
good.
easy to worry,
It is.
but try not to.
Try not to.
Yeah.
You just want to limit. Really, that's what it's about. Limit your exposure, and that's all you can do. There's
Mhm.
nothing more we can do as humans, because guess what? It's in some of the food we eat because the animals get it through the
Right.
water and everything. So
Right.
all we can do is the best, and that is to limit and try and do your best. So
Okay. Oh, and also you can advocate to
Yeah.
your representatives
That
for
you don't want this stuff.
safer products in the industries that use them.
yeah,
Do that too.
I think that's a good way to do it too. All right. So did we miss anything?
Well, I don't think we missed anything. I think we did
right.
all the things. And I thought of a couple other things we might want to talk about because, like, infant nutrition, we sort of like touched on it a little bit. With toddler nutrition, and I think we have more to say about that.
Yes.
And I'd also like to talk about health at every size at some point.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Because that's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we were going to come back around to coffee, but I don't know if we finished our discussion.
We didn't. I think we can talk about coffee. There's a lot out there about coffee recently.
There's a lot of research.
There's a lot of people that like coffee. So I should put like coffee in hers and tea in mine, but then we'd have to change the name to
coffee and tea time.
Tea time.
That doesn't really sound good.
Well, anyway, so do you want to do coffee?
Sure.
All right. So next time we are going to do coffee. We hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. And always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And we will see you again next week. Wednesday?
Yeah.
This month is all Wednesday?
That's all I got. It's Wednesdays.
All right. This month is Wednesday, so don't tune in on Tuesday because we won't be here.
Don't make tea on Tuesday.
Don't make tea on Tuesday unless you want cold tea on Wednesday. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye.
Yeah.